So this is the start of the adventure, roughly 2 weeks. That is Sölvesborg. We're just touching the water. Next up, Bökestad. This point here is where we've been on the road for about 45 minutes or so after Sölvesborg. I'm never going to get that right. So now is into the forest. And what a beautiful forest it is. This is the first rest stop of the day. I started at 1 o'clock in Sölvesborg. Hiked just over an hour, so about 4.5 kilometers to get to here. That's the direction where the trail comes from. That's the direction the trail goes. And this was a little place where I just sat down and had a very quick lunch. This is a nice vantage point, about 6.5 k outside of Sölvesborg. I remember the last time I came along this path last year, stopping here for a few minutes just to rest. I think I'll do the same now. I'm not sure it's private property, but I think they're okay if you just kind of sit here and just rest for a few minutes. We're going into Brotorpet commune. I'm not sure where we're coming from. Oh, okay, yeah, of course. Sölvesborg's commune. This entire trail, actually, at least this section of the trail, the first and part of the second day, are right on the border between the eastern edge of Skåne and the western edge of Blekinge, so 2 counties at the south of Sweden. So the trail itself is kind of shared, or at least these sections are shared between the start of the SL1 for Skåneleden, and I don't know what it's called for Blekingeleden. Just came up the pathway from that direction and found this this beautiful stone. If my Swedish is correct, it says to the memory of C.A. Trolla Wachtmeister, 1893 to 1956, the forest's friend. And then the forest's tjänstemannen, I guess servant in this kind of context, rest stone. So the rest stone of a forest's kind of guardian or helper or something like that. So it's really beautiful. I think I walked past this the last time I came, so it's a really nice kind of fitting memorial. I don't know what this gentleman did, but I think I'm going to check him out when I get home and kind of research him a little bit and just see a little bit about his life, or her life. It could be a lady, I don't know. So yeah, very beautiful. And now that direction, I think 1 or 2 kilometers until the camp for this evening. That's the end of the hiking for day 1. We've gone from Sölvesborg to here. I've just passed Grundsjön. So tomorrow it'll be there for lunch and then there to stay. I'm hoping that things will be okay tonight, because the last time I stayed here I had a rodent in the tent, and it's the one and only time that's happened. So as you walk across this path, you see it's kind of a paddock here in this house. Just in front of this house you can see there's a water tap, and that's drinkable water, so you can take water from there. And then just further down the path is the toilet on the right hand side, and on the left is the campsite. This is the area where I pitched tonight. As you can see, the ground is actually really nice. I wasn't aware of this last time I came, so where I pitched was on the other side. I'll go over and show you afterwards where I pitched there. So this is perfect. It has, I said, the ground is nice. There's a little fireplace here, logs to sit down on. I can imagine this is quite popular during the weekends. There's almost like a granddad and a granddaughter in the Vintwood over there. So yeah, I'm hoping that pitching here doesn't give me any rodents this evening in my tent. So I'll just show you footage now of where I camped last time I was here, and if you look at that mound you will see quite clearly why I visited it last time I was here. Morning! It's the start of day 2. This is the plan. We are aiming to get to Bökestad, which is about 25 kilometers away. I'll just shove that up a bit further. Today, starting here next to Grundsjön, there's a campsite here, Ostafors. That's a really nice place. That's about 16 kilometers from here. There's a nice kind of river that goes through the centre of that village, and the campsite's right on it. So that's where I'm planning on having lunch. That should be about 16k of moderates, so that I hope to get there by, say, 1 o'clock-ish in the afternoon. It should be about 9k just to get to Bökestad, and that's easy. So the hard work is in the morning, the easy work in the afternoon, and that's just at the base of a lake. And from reading up on the Skåneleden, that should be a really, really nice campsite. That's also the first part of this trail that I've not been to before. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think these are beehives. At least that's what I've been told from. Yeah, you can see at the bottom the hive is open. So the beehives. Cool. I don't know why you would place them here, because it's really in the middle of nowhere. But kudos to the people that are doing that. There's a squirrel right at the top there. This campsite is not on the Skåneleden for some reason, which is a shame. It's only about 300 meters from the last sign I saw, and when you sat here you get that view. I saw a lot of these dudes that were dead, but today I'm seeing a lot of them that are alive, which is pretty cool. That is a big stone next to some slightly smaller stones. Just arrived at this campsite. This is the one that's 16 kilometers, and I've got rather lucky. The last time I came here, someone's had a turmoil. The last time I came here, all of this was flat. It had been, the grass had been cut, and that was, I think, July of last year. So maybe it's just not the busy season right now, but there's no one here, which is great. It's been raining, so I can go and grab some rest in there. It's got this awesome river right next to it. The Skåneleden actually goes across that bridge there, and also you can come down here, grab some water to filter, but also stick your feet in there for a few minutes just to kind of cool off and yeah, to help with the bruising and things. So this is a great place, and I am weirdly happy that I've got it all to myself. So we're coming to Olofström's commune, and we're leaving Bromölla commune, and we're going on a trail snake to do it. This is where the trail splits. The last time I did this hike, I went to the right and ended up at Olofström. This time I'm going towards virgin territory and heading towards Bökestad. So 2.6 kilometers from here, and that's where I'll stay tomorrow night. Sorry, tonight, not tomorrow night. Heading back into Skåne there, and into Kristianstad's commune, and leaving Olofström's commune. Does it have a sign on the other side of here? Oh yeah, so that side is blinking. Morning. This is where I pitched up last night. I think this place is called Bökestad. It's next to this nice large lake, which, as well as being a great paddling place and a place to get your water, obviously through a filter, is also really, really warm. It's actually quite It's warmer this morning than it was yesterday. You come down that path there to get down. There's windward, several fire pits, as you can see I have this area to myself. So the plan today, there's two 13-kilometre sections, and I'm unsure at the moment whether I'm going to do both or just do 13 today and 13 tomorrow. I'll see what my body's telling me because I am pretty tired. So let's see what happens today. Just had breakfast at this really cute campsite just down that path there. It's got toilets, it's got, and it's next to a lake as well, so you can literally just walk into the lake. At the back of the toilets here, they've got storage for wood. It even has, and this is nice, a rubbish bin. And the reason why I'm pointing this out is because that's the first one I've seen since yesterday morning. So I've been carrying rubbish for almost a day and a half. This is the place itself. I think it is maintained by Kristianstad's commune, which may explain why it's not shown on the Skåneleden maps, which is a shame because although it is on the Skåneleden, you don't know about it unless you go to a different place. Okay, onwards and upwards. It's been raining since pretty much when I settled into the tent last night, and it's still going. I think it's supposed to be like this for the day. Just to give you an example, this is what the trail looks like right now. Just gone through, I think it's called Brotorpet or Brotorpet, I'm not sure. Very nice campsite, very big actually. Lots and lots of people there, lots of very wet tents. Unfortunately the windward was absolutely chock full of people, 10, 12 if not more. The most I've ever seen actually in a windward. So I didn't stop. I've just grabbed a snack and a few more out of my bag to put into my little rucksack here. I'm going to put my head down and non-stop do the second 13k up to, I think it's called Vesslarp or Vesslarp. Excuse me. So hopefully I get there about 4 o'clock or so, and then it's just a question of get some water, dive into the tent, and don't reappear until tomorrow. Or if it's still raining like this tomorrow, I'll stay there for the day and then move on the next day. It has been raining pretty much torrentially the entire day, which is unusual. It did rain a little bit yesterday, but it wasn't too bad. Today though is, yeah, exceptional. That looks like it used to be an old house. Heck of a chimney, if it was. Oh, that one's a bit rickety. The rain stopped about 2 hours ago. I did think it was going to start again because of the clouds. You can see there's no blue sky, there's just kind of white. But luckily it hasn't. There has been some quite grey clouds go overhead, but they haven't dropped any rain, which is good. So it's starting now to warm up, and if I go quiet you can hear the birds and animals in the background coming out to play. And if you listen really well, you'll hear the mosquitoes and the flies as well. Morning, it's the beginning of day 4. This is Vesslarp, where I stayed last night. Very nice place, lots of accoutrements or amenities, utilities. You can see firewood, there's a toilet, next to the toilet there is a bin. There's a well about 50 metres in that direction, they'll filter or cook the water. There's a river that kind of splits around it here, and then there's a windwidden fireplace up there. The only issue really, apart from the level of mosquitoes, ants and flies, is I was going to pitch here, but underneath all of that soil is either stone or something so hard that the stakes can't get through. So I ended up pitching over here, which is more or less on the path, and that's not the best thing to do. I did, as you can see, it is very picturesque. And look at those trees. I did have a look up here, but there's nowhere flat enough up here. This would have been much better, but even at the back of the windward, there's nowhere that's flat enough. So we're entering Östra commune. Sorry, I can't pronounce that. And we're leaving Osby commune. I'm guessing we're going to be back into Osby commune because that's where I will be in a couple of days. So the plan for today, if I can just get down here without breaking an ankle, is, excuse me, 19k to Glimåkra. Then the day afterwards it should be about 17k to Osby. We are here at Vesslarp, and today is to Glimåkra, and then Osby. Osby's quite a large town. Glimåkra does have its own large town, but it's not on the path. It's about a kilometre and a half in and about a kilometre and a half out. But Osby, you stay just outside Osby and then you walk straight through it. So my plan at the minute is to resupply here. So that's the end of today, that's the end of tomorrow, and then resupply on the way through. That is about 24 kilometres that next day, which will probably be the longest day that I need to do now, if memory serves, which will make yesterday the longest day of the whole trip, and probably, or at least I hope, the wettest. The first time this morning I saw a sign like that, it said 3k and 14k, so, and that's 6k and 11k, which indicates that I've done 6k and it's 11k to Glimåkra. Again, I apologise, I do not know how to pronounce Swedish place names, but that's strange because all the maps are saying it's 19 kilometres. And I believe the maps, a lot of the sections today, yesterday and the day before consist of this kind of plant, or other types of plant, which are really close and you kind of brush through them. So I'm wearing, as you can see, long trousers which are constantly wet. My boots are constantly wet, my socks are constantly wet, and my feet are obviously constantly wet because of this. And it's supposed to rain almost every day until I get to Bökestad. So having a little bit of sunlight right now to burn off some of that moisture is really good. This is amazing. The trail comes down there and then goes over in that direction. You can just see the sign there. But this, oh, this is why I hike. Look at this. The sun's coming out. There's a nice place to sit. Fireplace as well. And look at this lake. Look at that. Wow. I've walked around quite a number of lakes over the last 4 days. Just look at this. That's gorgeous. Yeah, I'm going to take 15 minutes and have a bit of a rest. And that's where I'm going to sit. In fact, that bench looks brand new. I'd kind of got all packed up and even done my exercises. And then I realised that the sun's coming out quite a bit, so I decided to try the solar panel. As you can see, it's not really out that much, it's quite cloudy right now, but even so, that's generating enough power to start to recharge my 20,000 milliamp power bank, which is pretty cool actually. And then I also realised, well, if that's hot enough for that, then why not just take my shoes and socks off and all of my all my wet stuff, just put on the boulders, put my shoes there, and just give them a little bit of time to try and dry out a little bit more, which will be really nice. So what I've decided is I'm going to have kind of an early lunch, late breakfast. So that's what the rice is. Kind of a secondary benefit is that packet of rice was 1/4 of a kilo. And it takes about 300 millilitres of water to make it. So that's half a kilo less that's going to be in my pack when I leave. Cool, and I get to sit here for another half an hour or so and look at this beautiful vista. Time to go. That was a really nice rest. Having a hot meal, having your shoes and your socks dry out a little bit is actually quite a major pick-me-up. It makes you ready for the rest of the trip. So I think I'm about 1/3 of the way to Glimåkra. I'm literally 20 footsteps away and we're back on the track. There we go. So, time to put my head down. Probably, let's see, done about 6 or 7 kilometers so far. It's 19, so probably 12 to 13 kilometers left. So maybe 3 or 4 hours of hiking. There's a sign about 65 meters further up the trail that says there's a ruin here and to look at it and solve it. I don't know quite what it is or what it was, but looking at the picture it might have been some kind of mill house. It's very old. I mean, look at the rock over there, that's huge. And the entrance was there, so it could have been a mill house of some variety. I wonder what's in that wooden box. So ruins from I don't know what Ångsågverk, something tool. As we're in power from okay, yeah, it just looked like it's some kind of water mill. Does this go up? Oh wow, if it does. Aha! There's the water. Okay. Oh well, looks like a nice place to sit for 15 minutes. Glimåkra is where we're going to, and tomorrow Osby is where the target is. Sivhult and Brenes, I'm not familiar with them. So this is the direction we need to go. You can see a sign there to Vesslarp up in that direction. So we're almost done, about half of the way. That section up there that goes up the side of the lake was pretty tough actually. So something like this for a few kilometers would be very welcome. Very, very close now to the campsite for this evening. You can hear in the background there's a bunch of kids in a huge pool. I've just had to sort out my rubbish. Definition of civilization is having to sort out your rubbish into plastics, paper and what can be burned. This is the lake. So I think, if I'm correct, I think up there at that corner is roughly where the campsite is, but that's what I'm going to go and find now. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon and I've just arrived at the campsite. Unfortunately it's saying water 600 meters in the direction I've just come from, and that was a very steep climb. I do not plan on going back there, so no cooking tonight. I'm gonna have to hope the water I've got lasts me until tomorrow and I can go and get some more further down the path. The other thing is that there's a lot of ants on the floor, so somewhere around here is an ant nest. It could be just there. Where I'm planning on pitching is here. If you look closely, actually they're not ants, or are they? Yeah, they're mostly ants, so that's not a good place to pitch. But there's no other flat ground here. Unless, no, I mean there's this boulder in the middle. And there's ants here as well. There's even ants up at the Vindwood, so yeah, I'm a little unsure what to do if I'm being honest. Just been having a look around for an alternate pitch place and accidentally found this amazing view. Gives you an idea of how high this place is as well. Morning. I did find another pitch yesterday, which was here. At least kind of half of it here was reasonably flat, so I was able to sleep quite well actually. Had a nice evening in there. It's a bit of a trek up to where the Lagerplatz is. I did also end up going back to get water for the simple reason that I was basically out of water when I got here. Oh, and you can kind of see how steep this area is. That's why I was bitching quite a bit yesterday about having to go back and get the water. Anywho, it's quite a nice cool day. It's about 6:37 in the morning. Slept for maybe 19 hours last night, so that's good. It's 17k today to Osby Lagerplatz campsite, so I'm not staying there tonight. I'm staying in the hotel, which is about 2 kilometers further on, which is cool. And the reason for that is that tomorrow would have been a 24k day to I think it's called Virum. So if I take 2k out of that today, that means that's down to only 22k tomorrow. Bad news, I do find some ticks on me, so I've removed the ones that I've been able to, and I'll do a proper thorough check when I get to the hotel. Good news is I'd forgotten I had a pair of dry socks. I brought them just in case it was cold during the night. And since it's so hot, I'm keeping my feet out of the sleeping bag rather than in the sleeping bag at night. Sorry, this is quite difficult. I decided I'd use them today and I can get them dried out in the hotel tonight if they do get wet, so that's a nice start to the day. Oh, this is very, very... I wonder if I should have come down there. Yeah, I should have. It's very, very steep terrain, this part. The rest of it though, or at least a large part of it, looks like it's on roads and paths. And I think it's marked as an easy trek, which normally means very little height changes, very few height changes. So it should be fairly easy today. Oops, excuse me, little dude. And of course, once I get to within about 2 or 3k of Osby, then you're hitting civilization. So things are easier. Been going for about an hour so far. I'm just about to stop for the first break of the day. And the terrain has been, almost all the terrain has been like this. Where it's just been either forest paths or these kinds of paths and fairly flat and level. Apart from the beginning, I have some new friends. Are you coming to say hi? Not sure. How about the wee ones? Hello? What's your name then? Well, if I think I've got fly problems, these poor folks have got it even worse. Look at them. That's a big tongue. Right. I'll say bye-bye. Have a pleasant day. Enjoy the sunshine. Still blue skies. I've had this before, where I've walked past a herd and you stop and they stop, and then you carry on walking and they carry on following you. And it is so cool. Are you coming? No. Oh, well, why is this one on its own? This is the Liggerplatz at Osby. So 17k from where I stayed last night. Quite a nice place. It's got, where was it? I saw a well on the way in. There's a well here somewhere. I can't remember where it is. So it looks like it's got toilets. Vinwood behind me. You can see it's right next to the lake. It's got a WC bathroom. It looks nice. I don't see that many spots to actually put a tent. There's not that many flat spots. But I'm sure if I kind of walk a little bit further along, I would find something if I was staying here. Yeah, there might be something down here actually. I think I only have about an hour, not an hour, a kilometre to go until I get to the hotel. But this is way too good an opportunity to pass on. There's a nice breeze coming up as well, so I assume that where the buildings are over there, that's Osby. So I would think that's where the hotel's going to be, so I'm guessing a kilometre or so. I'm not actually sure, but we'll find out. First of all, if I look a little bit red, it's because I've just got out the shower and the lights are on top of my head. So yeah, it's the beginning of day 6 and I've decided to stop the hike here in Osby. The reason for that is I'm not enjoying it. Any hike I do for fun. I want to be out in nature, I want to enjoy it, I want to be looking around, I want to be seeing cool things and enjoying all of that, and I haven't been doing that on this hike for whatever the reason. And the second reason is just simply that I'm at the end of my stamina. I'm exhausted, and carrying on just to run myself into the ground just doesn't make sense when what you're trying to do is to enjoy something. So I think the best decision is to stop it here. What I might do later this year, certainly when the weather's a bit better and a little cooler, or maybe next year, is look at coming back and completing the second half of the hike. The hard bits are actually done, so it's relatively easy bits left. And I think that'll be quite nice, but I'll look into that later on and see if I have time, maybe towards the end of this year or sometime in the first half of next year. So thank you for watching the video. Apologies that I didn't make it the whole way, but I hope you understand my reasons why, and I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, take care, and take care of yourself. Bye bye.